Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member Fufoni Bintang Karanai. Honorable Member, I want to believe that there are some honorable members of the Health Committee who love Gambia no less than you or any other person. To impute certain things into honorable members who have not even taken off or reported to us is preempting their work itself. And it's not an open-ended stream. What you like is what happens. Not at all. Parliament itself is regulated. Human beings ourselves, we are always under regulation.
Honorable Speaker.
Please. Please.
I want to observe you, Honorable Speaker.
You don't observe me, please. Honorable member for, is it Latikunda? Latikunda, I don't know what your problem is. Latikunda, please. Latikunda,
I want the rules
if you want to earn my respect once and for all.
Yes, because I want
Honorable member, please, if you want to earn my respect, you will have to deserve it. This is my last chance for you. I am getting almost nearly above board. I'm telling you, I will not hesitate. No, I'm telling you, I'm giving you all your dues. So please, leave mine alone. Alone, please. You cannot be there and be here. I cannot be here and be there. Please. So those things we must get clear. Very clear. I now call upon the honorable member for Talinding Kunja.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you very much, honorable colleagues. I would like to acknowledge the presence of honorable ministers here present. Let me join my colleagues in extending my sincere condolence to the bereaved families. They are going through a trying time. I recognize a couple from Talinding who came, who deemed it very important to come and witness. I will extend my sympathy to them and all the bereaved families, and pray that Allah give them the fortitude to bear the loss. This is indeed alarming. It could have been me, it could have been my child, it could have been anybody's child. It happens to be them. For them to restore, to show every Gambian that when calamities happen, when disasters strike, government take action, institutions of government take actions to restore that confidence to the citizenry. You know, every Gambian is shocked, every Gambian is in doubt whether the drugs you are consuming are any longer safe for you. This is the situation we are in now. Not only the syrup, everybody is questioning any other medicine in the pharmacy. And then that is where we are now. So whatever the country takes now, whatever decision we take, whatever we implement, is going to make sanitize our health industry, our import and export or otherwise of drugs. So this is why it is important, as this august body sets up, empowers the health committee with timeline to look into this matter critically. We do our job judiciously and effectively to ensure that the outcome saves the country for prosperity in terms of this, because this crisis have exposed us, has exposed the vulnerability of the citizenry, the challenges, the gaps with regards to importation of good drugs and the quality of drugs we consume. So we hope that these, the investigations, the consultations the committee is going to do is going to help us to achieve that. Somebody said special committee. I would like to particularly object to special committees. I do not see why having health committee, you want to duplicate efforts in certain special committees. What I would recommend is that we include the gender and children committee as well, because they also are affected, to be part of the health committee. If you do this, we do it. The life, like somebody mentioned, that have been lost, they have right to life. They could have been anything in the country. They could have grown up to become anything. And then, now that this has happened, what do we do as a country? And then the inquiry shouldn't be approached with the sense that already somebody is guilty already. We go in it with an open mind, that the partners we are meeting are also interested to safeguard the integrity of this country, to healthcare delivery of this country. We have to be mindful of that. When we approach issues of this, because I do know the people in the healthcare, their wish is not to lose life, is to save. I do know that. But sometimes gaps in institutions, gaps in our laws, implementations, funding, and everything concerning that weaknesses must be addressed holistically, not just finding scapegoats, not just finding who to blame, but then let's look at the issues holistically and address them for now and for future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Member for Talending Kunjang. I would have given you extra minute if you had wanted it. When I listen to you, sometimes I am moved and I am proud to be a member of the constituency you represent. Honorable Member for Stani Mentoring.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, I'll acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Ministers here present. First, Honorable Speaker, I'll extend my deep condolences and sympathy to the families and victims of this tragic incident, and to my own self as a mother. Also, thanks to the minority leader for tabling this before this August Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I'll also thank the Select Committee on Health for their intervention in finding facts to this cause of our own children. Honorable Speaker, noting that the government and health authorities going on investigation about the causes of this unfortunate death and the reports, allegation of the contaminated drugs. Honorable Speaker, I recommend the committee or the Select Committee on Health and Gender, Children and Social Welfare Committee to have a team or to set up a team that will do these investigations and report to disciplinary for an action. Honorable Speaker, it is also a concern that some quantity of alleged contaminated drugs are still unaccounted for or recalled. Yes, there is a team set out already to collect some paracetamol or whatsoever syrup has been given out or has been sold out by some pharmacies. I am sure there are still some medications which could be outside, which some parents might not be giving out because they might not know the cause or the effect attached to it. Honorable Speaker, I also recognize the power of the Assembly to establish committees with the general mandate to inquire into the activities and administration of ministries and departments of the government. Honorable Speaker, these children are our own children. These children could be presidents, they could be ministers, they could be ambassadors, they could be governors, they could be anything tomorrow. I think it is important for the Gender Committee, Children and Social Welfare, plus the Health Committee to join. In this Gender Committee that you have mothers. The Health Committee might have a mother, but there are mothers in the Gender Committee. So therefore, I recommend the Gender Committee to join with the health committee to make sure that they do the thorough investigation and report to the plenary. I bet to take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring. I now call upon the Honorable Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. To be honest, my heart is full, to be honest. But notwithstanding, I will observe the parents present here, the affected families present here, and also want to seize this important opportunity to extend my sincere condolence to all affected families and also the Gambia for the loss of 66 lost children due to Aki. It is very unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, but notwithstanding, I believe the death of over 66 plus Gambian children and many more suffering from Aki, reported allegation of the contaminated syrups reflect a deep and widespread systemic issue confronting this country for a period now. And I believe it is important in that regards that there is need for the National Assembly, which we are actually doing now, to respond to this crisis with all the concern and urgency, which is indeed very important in areas critically and closely, so that as to determine why and how such a national strategy could have happened, which the Select Committee have already started engaging all the relevant stakeholders, which is indeed, I believe, is the right thing to do as a Select Committee.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
Can we hear the point of order? Who is naming the point? Opanyomi?
Yes.
Your mic.
Yes, clause 28, sub clause 1. A member shall not read his or her speak, but he or she may read extract from the books or papers in support of his or her argument and may refresh his or her memory by reference. The member is reading from a text which he wrote on a paper.
Honorable Member, are you reading?
Honorable Speaker, these are points that I put on a paper.
Member, are you reading?
I am not
a text
reading.
you have written?
I am not reading, Honorable Speaker.
All right.
Maybe he is not very comfortable with my presentation, but
No,
notwithstanding.
Honorable Member, you know, I have to make a ruling.
Okay, go ahead.
You know, it is in order that you should not read. You should not read from a text, written text. You can quote from these things or make reference to notes. So if you are reading, please stop reading. If you are not reading and you are making notes, you can continue, please.
Honorable Speaker, like I said, I am just going through the points that I've noted on my paper. But if he is not very comfortable, I think...
Honorable Member, can you continue with your debate? Can you continue?
Okay, I believe that was a distraction, but notwithstanding, like I said, in the line of the issues that has been mentioned here as some of the members, I think it is very important for us to have an open parliamentary inquiry to investigate in this matter, which is indeed very important. Because looking at the situation, it is indeed a public health emergency. And in any serious nation, we cannot joke or play with health, understanding that it is very key as far as our nation is concerned. And wherever we see a healthy nation, that is when we can see better development. But notwithstanding also, as the mover of this motion, have mentioned some of the TORs that they are expecting as per the committee that will be responsible for the investigation. I will also want to recommend for the Assembly to consider us by at least putting up a very strategic communication mechanisms in place so that in terms of whatever we're going to communicate to the public, more particularly with the relevant stakeholders, will be of essence, will be of use to the people. Because if we are to communicate to the people and they don't understand the language that we are speaking, that is already a problem. And like the saying goes, if a problem is not solved, it's still a problem. But when a problem is solved, it's no more a problem. And this is something that we must all consider and try by all means to make sure that it is of national interest. Let us see to it that as far as this current situation is concerned, we are all victims. And the most vulnerable are the children. And these children, we are the parents. So in that regard, I want to seize this opportunity to thank the minority leader for coming up with such a motion to see to it that a committee is being assigned to investigate to the bottom of this crisis that we are faced with as a nation. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul North. I now invite the Honorable Member for Banjul South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. First of all, like my honorable colleagues, I would follow and extend my deepest sympathies to the families and to the Gambia at large, as this is a tragedy and calls for national mourning. Honorable Speaker, it is heartbreaking, not only as a mother, but I am a mother of 6 children. And I know that if my child would have been under 5 or under 7, one of them might have been one of the victims. So that is why this is so close to my heart. Honorable Speaker, I will not also be fair if I do not point out to the quick action taken by the Ministry of Justice, and that needs commendation. But I think that is where I will stop the comment, Honorable Speaker, because they were quick to pick on the problem and also to identify the issue and to exclude the medication, recall it from the public. And for that, we say thank you to the Honorable Minister for saving at least some lives, because it would have been more than 70. I'm not saying it's not more than 70 because we are not sure.
Honorable Member, I think you were talking about the Ministry for Health and not Justice.
The Ministry of Health.
Okay.
Yes. Honorable Speaker, this is a concern. It regards health, but it also regards children's welfare. Honorable Speaker, I would urge this August Assembly, when they look at the committee, that we should resolve for the Select Committee on Health to also include the Select Committee on Gender and the Committee in charge of Children's Welfare as permitted by Clause 107 of our standing orders to sit and work on this matter. In this particular clause, it says that where a matter may be of concern to 2 or more committees, the relevant committees may be dealt with on one of the relevant committees composing of it, or be the relevant committee sitting concurrently. So I would urge this August House to convene the 2 select committees to work on these matters. Some of my honorable members, some of my honorable colleagues have already pointed on that, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we need to know that we have very good laws in this country. So I would not only point the blame to the executive or the ministry or the agency. I would also call this August Assembly to look at the laws that we make. The Act on Medicines and Related Products also has a section that appoints quality control of medicines and related products, Honorable Speaker. And if you permit me, I will say what that says. It says that this is established by this act. There is established by this act the National Medicines Quality Control Laboratory that should work independent of the agency. The act, as I said, also has an agency, and the agency has regulatory mandates that should have been done. If their work was properly done, this problem would not have been a problem in the first instance, because they have regulations that prevent bad products from entering this country. I think, Honorable Speaker, this committee that we are to establish today would have a great task, not only in terms of health issues, but also in terms of welfare issues. And on whose welfare, Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker? The welfare of our children. We have recorded 70 children.
One minute. No, put on your mic.
Honorable Speaker, the minority side I would applaud, because the minority side made this sitting possible today. I was disappointed to see the majority leader raising his tag to second a motion that he was reluctant to sign, Honorable Chair. He refused to sign, to convene for a meeting to address this matter that affects our children, but yet he wanted to show the world that he seconded this motion. And Honorable Speaker, I am ashamed, because this is not a call show. This is an interest to the nation. It is not for the public. We were duly elected to represent our people and to show our people that we care, not to act a joke, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul South. I now call upon the Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. And I thank the Honorable Ministers who are also present here. First of all, I will start. I am very grief-striking to the level that I don't see. My second disturbance is to see honorable members praising an institution we intend to investigate. Because for me, if you ask me, the ministry should rather prevent and put in mechanisms. I will not praise this or heap encomium on a ministry that fails to prevent and put in mechanisms to prevent this public health disaster. There could have been mechanisms in place, not early sign detection. Honorable Speaker, this nation mourns, this nation grieves, and this nation is effectively in a public health disaster. And I want the honorable members to be so emotionally attached to the 80-something kids that were killed by way of these poisonous drugs.
Sorry. Observation, please. Honorable.
The pain of Aki.
Honorable, can I please observe?
I spoke to two mothers who were affected, whose children died by way of Aki. One of them told me rather, my child cries in pain, my child groans in pain, my child dies in pain, and my child was gasping for breath. That was very unfortunate. She said the child was a very intelligent child. I couldn't control my tears. Honorable Speaker, I will only applaud the minister. Minister is a surgeon. Several times you use your surgeon's knife, pierce bodies, court bodies to make sure people's lives are safe. You did that several times in this country, and you need a special commendation for that. But under this circumstance, Honorable Speaker, somebody must be held responsible. I am not saying the minister is responsible. I have already dilated how responsible the minister was as a medical practitioner, a surgeon for that matter, cure lives and saves a lot of lives. But under this circumstance, it is unfortunate that this happened under your watch. And somebody must take responsible even before this inquiry. And there are heads of institutions in this country, including Honorable Minister himself, head of Pharmacy Council. Let somebody take this bold decision and take responsibility of this disease. Honorable Speaker, the first appearance of Aki was one. The first victim was one. We start as a nation, as a ministry, we start counting from 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 60-something, and we are still counting. And I will also urge the ministry.
You see, that's where the discretion of the speaker comes in, and that's why, and that's why I will happily deny you. Honorable members, I heard people saying observations when he was talking. They want to observe him on a statement he made, something like that. And I enjoyed that bit because this is what parliamentary debate is all about. People said 60, some said 70, he said 80. Somebody can come and say 100. This is where we find ourselves as an institution. And that's why we decided to regulate ourselves. Because nobody outside parliament can regulate us. Nobody. We can say whatever we want to say, do whatever we want to do. So, but as matured, good citizens of this country, we said, now let's regulate ourselves. This trust is too much, we must also safeguard it. That's why we came out with our own regulations. And that's why when we make debates, we must base debates on substantive issues, a report or something that has been researched and brought to parliament. Otherwise, he will say 100 people died. Somebody will say, no, it's 10 people. Other one will say, no, we have information that more people have died in UR at about 200. Which one are you going to take? That's why it is important that we get focused. And I'm happy that you deny the person to look into it, because he will have said, who told you it's 70, it's 80? You will equally ask him, who told you that it's 70? Or who said it's not 200? You know, these are things that we should appreciate as parliamentarians. I now invite the honorable member for Lower Badibu.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I will first start my deliberation on sending my heartfelt or deepest condolences to the bereaved families, especially those at home and here present, as well as the entire Gambian populace. Honorable Speaker, the topic before us is a very delicate issue, since it involves the lives of over 60 innocent Gambian children. Honorable Speaker, I would want the Gender Committee as well as the Health Committee to amalgamate, to join forces together in order to carry out these noble tasks. Honorable Speaker, like I would say, I don't have much to say. I will not preempt my stand on this issue until the time that the Health Committee carried out its mandate on the issue. then there I'll be in a position to deliberate on this. I thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Badibu. And I invite the Honorable Member for Bundunka Kunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor to participate in this important issue that is before us here. Before I go further, I want to recognize the honorable ministers who are present with us here. And also, on behalf of the people of Bundung, I want also to extend my sincere condolence to the bereaved families. At the same time, to also share the same pain that the families got. But this is a situation that we had. It's rather unfortunate. As a country, what we need at the moment is solution. And that solution can only be done through the parliament, through the health committee. And I feel and hope that the committee that is responsible, they will do their utmost best to give us a very good report. And whatever you are going to do, just do it with sincerity. Because this is not about you or me, but it's about Gambia. And this is about life and death. And I don't think we should joke with that. And also, this will be another step for all government institutions. Today is, is health ministry. For us to be able to open our eyes to make certain decisions that can, at least where we can prevent certain issues like this. So on that note, the health committee, the number of members that are there, for me personally, I have confidence in them, and I think they will be able to do it. Because so far so good, whatever we are doing here, we cannot, base our facts on, we cannot base our debate on facts, because there is no data. Because for me, I don't even want to mention the number. I know it has happened, yes, but the number, I cannot justify it. And when they do the investigation, that will allow us to know the numbers from different regions, and that will really help us. So now is a collective responsibility for all of us, though the committee will do their part, but as representative of our very Gambian people from different constituencies, what are we going to do to also, enhance our support to the fight? At least because I understand that there are so many syrup that are uncovered, and I think we all have to work together, especially with the Red Cross, to engage them at our community level, so that we can go on to at least go to pharmacies to get this thing together, if we really have the mandate from the ministry. So on that note, I just still want to appeal to the General Assembly to allow the health committee to do it, because we are all brothers here, and we must have to accept and appreciate each other's effort. So for that being the case, they are the one in the committee, let's allow them to do it. At the end of the day, they are doing not for them, but they are doing it for the Gambian people. And I think we are all here to represent one common interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Bundunka Kunda. I now invite the Honorable Member for Janjambure.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to join colleagues to pay my condolences to the bereaved families, and as well as the parents that are with us in chambers here and those that are not with us. To start with, I just want to reflect on the motion that is before us here today this morning. And I just want to look at on the motion number 4, taking note of the preliminary investigation by the police on the arrest of, on the deaths of at least 70 children from AKI in the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, I think as much as we ought to wait for possible investigations or for the police to wrap up with their investigations, I think there are clear evidence from the preliminary that the death of the 70 children are actually related to the AKI. And I think that's where arrests should start with those that are responsible in the supply of this bad medication. In alarm. I think the alleged pharmacy operators need to be closed down as soon as possible, because I don't think we can afford to wait for another tragedy. And if closed, I think that should be in the right direction, because it's what I'm hearing from some of the members. Also looking at the TOR, Honorable Speaker, I just want to join my fellow honorable members to say it will be important to have a joint select committee or special committee to look into this sensitive matter, for the simple reason that as much as it is health related, I think it involves children. And we have a whole select committee that is actually established to look into the welfare of children in this country. So it will be indeed very important to have them to be part of this committee. Also, I have actually had some of my members actually singing the Ministry of Health. And I think on this particular issue, we just need to do justice to the Gambian people. And in doing justice, I think we kind of rushing to upload the Ministry of Health, rather. And looking at how this information was broke out, I think it emerged from WHO before the Ministry of Health. And we would have expected for such information to be relayed by the Ministry of Health. And I think it have in fact went to an extent that the Ministry of Health were challenging the WHO as to the way and manner the information was broke out. Also, Honorable Speaker, on the TOR, I understand, yes, but also on the TOR, I think it will be also important for we to that are renting out their landscenes to, let's say, outsiders, in the pretext that they built a partnership. I think sometimes they kind of use words to confuse us in the way and manner they run their businesses. And it will be very much important to ensure that clarity is established on this particular issue, and also to understand that this moment is a moment that the Gambia as a nation is mourning. And seeing honorable members in these chambers without taking that decorum, because I'm seeing honorable members laughing, and we have the parents here with us in these chambers. And also, most importantly, I will add my voice on Honorable Njai's submission that the majority leader coming to second a motion, I don't think it's really fair. When he had
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Member for Janjambure. I think I remind myself of the wise words of the member for Talending. As we approach investigations, we open up. Let's not be preconceived, so that you get every information for you to make sound judgment. If we are yet to get a report and people are concluding that A and B has happened, I hope, however, it's going to be very subjective if we want to look at the report. We await the arrival of the report of the committee, which I am confident they will do a wonderful job, because they already have started. They were on it. I now invite the honorable member for Combo South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I also want to join my colleagues to extend heartfelt condolences to the families and also to those who are still in hospital for a speedy recovery. Honorable Speaker, the Gambia is at crossroads. Wonders will never end in this country if people of this country do not want to take responsibility. We need to take responsibility for our deeds, and we need to take responsibility for the roles that we play in our institutions. Until that is done, the truth will never come out. There is a lot of denial going on, and I think it is about time, as citizens of this country, we should be frank to each other. Honorable Speaker, I don't want to speak much because we have just come to a stage where our powers have been taken from us. And I am going to confront and I'm going to have dialogue with the chair of the Standing Order Committee to review this standing order. We cannot have our powers and leave it to a subcommittee to decide for us. This is a very important session, third extraordinary session of the 6th legislature. From April to now, this is the third extraordinary session. Things are coming up. So when you go to your ABC meetings, you need to look and gauge the importance of the issues that are going to be discussed. Don't limit us to 2 minutes. That's nothing. What is that going to tell us? This is our Bantaba, this is the place where we have to represent our people. Honorable Speaker, and this we need to move forward and forth to make sure that let's allow the members to say what they are going to say and allow them to speak their minds and to enable them to do their work correctly. So this is an issue that I'm going to take up with the committee, the chair of the committee responsible of the standing order. They are meeting, and I think these are issues that we need to look into. Honorable Speaker, I think it is about time that we look at what we are going to do. And the Constitution is very clear. Section 109 of the Constitution is very clear. The Assembly can set up committees. We set up a committee when we had FPAC here, when we had COVID. So it does not limit, we did not limit it to FPAC. We set up a special committee to look at the issues. That's why the 734 million was released for COVID programs in this country. So we are going to, and I am suggesting that we set up a special committee that will include the health committee, children and women and social welfare, and another important committee that is defense. This has something to do with security, and we need to work out to do that, Honorable Speaker. So I am going to end up here, and then when we come to the nitty-gritties and the report when it is out, I will do my research. I have all my volumes here, and we are going to do it. But the National Health Pharmacy Control Agency, the National MCA, the Ministry and the Pharmacy Council should take responsibility, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kombo South. I now invite the Honorable Deputy Speaker and nominated member, Honorable Sidi Eskenjai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also want to join members to extend my condolence to the bereaved families, the untimely death of 70 children, as we are told, who died as a result of AKI. I want to pray that Allah the Almighty grant the families the fortitude to bear the loss. Honorable Speaker, I want to commend the National Assembly for this motion and the minority leader for tabling this very important motion. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that from the beginning, the majority leader and member for Kantora was never presented with this motion to sign. Rather, it was a paper for him to sign to call for this extraordinary session. And this very important motion was finalized yesterday by the Office of the Speaker, the Office of the two leaders, and the Office of the Clerk. That need to be, and they work tirelessly to get us this factual and important document. Honorable Speaker, this motion seeks to recognize the work and the effort of the Ministry of Health and our health officials, our men and women and boys and girls in all our health facilities in this country, and we must recognize that. It could have been a catastrophe and a disaster for this country and the world at large. Hadn't been these very important and patriotic citizens of this country in the health sectors. They raised the alarm, and the Ministry of Health and the authorities at the health facilities decided to conduct immediately clinical and data assessment and tests to find out the unusual AKI in young people. And it's as a result, the Ministry of Health and the government immediately suspended the usage as they suspected as a result of clinical and data results, the use of paracetamol syrup and other drugs. And we are all aware, the people in this country politicized it and they were vilified, they were insulted, they were condemned. But when a preliminary investigation suggesting that the Ministry of Health and health personnel actions was indeed right, it could have been honorable for them to come back and apologize and recognize this effort as indicated in the resolution. That's what a responsible and responsive government and responsive health sector will do. As a country,
am I hearing a point of order?
Yes, please.
Member for Banjul South, can we hear the point of order, please? Microphone.
Mr. Speaker, point of order 18. It says any member deviating from the standing order. Mr. Speaker, we come to this assembly to tell the
point
truth
of order.
And nothing but the truth. Honorable Speaker, the honorable member has not spoken the truth.
Honorable member for Banjul South, you quoted a section what I said? 18 of the standing orders. Can you help us through it?
Honorable Speaker's point of order, any member deviating from these standing orders may be immediately called to order by the Speaker or any other member. Honorable Speaker, the honorable member just stood up and told this assembly something that is not true. Honorable member, it is a lie that the honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker said Honorable Speaker, it is the truth. The majority
Banjul
Speaker,
can the honorable member Banjul South, can you withdraw that statement, please?
Honorable Speaker, if the truth is said, I will say it's a truth. If a lie is said, I will say it's a lie.
No,
Speaker,
I mean,
if it was not the truth.
Honorable member.
No, I will
honorable
not.
member.
I can ask to leave, but I will not withdraw my
Honorable member, you either going to withdraw it or you leave the chambers. Then leave the chamber. Then, before any further action, then leave the chambers, please.
I will not.
Honorable member, fine. You don't withdraw, leave the chamber, fine. No, please, leave the chamber. We want sanity in this institution. And honorable member, please don't abuse your right, please. Please. We want sanity in this institution and respect for each other. We are bound to have divergent opinions. I will say this, somebody will say differently. But we must accept it. You have a right to disagree. But when people put out their opinions, you must respect their opinions. It's a must. You must respect it. You reserve the right to disagree with the person. If I feel that what I'm saying is the right thing, and the honorable minority leader believes it's not right, and I want to believe that what minority is saying is not also right, where are we going? Let's respect each other's opinion, but still reserve the right to disagree with the person based on points or whatever. We don't want statements like that to happen in Parliament. We are being seen and looked into, representing whole Gambian people as the people's Bantaba. We should be less emotional, more focused to issues that we want to debate. And we cannot tolerate one person or
Honorable Speaker, point of observation.
Please. Who is shouting?
I say a point of observation.
Who is the person?
point. Fonyi Bintang Karana. Fonyi Bintang Karana.
Fonyi Bintang, you need to go and address yourself with the rules of parliament. It's not what you find outside that can be translated and brought into parliament. It's an organized institution for matured, principled people to service their people. Please.
Can I please observe, Honorable Speaker?
Please, Honorable Member.
Honorable Speaker. Yeah, I shall observe him. The Honorable Speaker.
What members? You are not the owner of the...
Who is talking?
He's above observation.
Juma?
Look, these people are not the owner of this house, okay? Yeah, they are not the owner of this house. We can say whatever we want to say.
Sit Busumbala?
Yes.
Busumbala, you did not shout.
Did I?
Yeah, you did not shout or argue over it.
I'm not shouting and arguing over this. I just want to observe. Let us proceed. Honorable Speaker cannot make remarks on, on members.
I think, Honorable Member, you better come and sit here.
No, I will not sit here, but let's make proceed.
And then let's proceed at the same time. Honorable Member, I said, I think you are legally minded. You were one time an officer in the service and you have done some part of law. We need not remind you about what you should do and say as opposed to what I should do and say. You should know that by now. You should know that by now. We don't expect that from people who are legal luminaries.
Honorable Speaker, I'm just...
Please. No, take your own. Just limit yourself to that seat. And leave mine alone. Please. Honorable nominated member, Honorable Njai, you can continue your deliberations.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm not sure that they have not eaten into my time. Honorable Speaker, bullet number 5, acknowledging the efforts of the government and in particular the Ministry of Health since the outbreak, notifying WHO as well as requested for an investigation into the matter. Honorable Speaker, as I said earlier on, we want to commend the Ministry of Health for this. Even when it came, they notified the World Health Organization to assist. And that is commendable. That is the truth. We know there must have been lapses or ill-equipped, but the personnel at the Ministry of Health, when they noticed it, and the Ministry of Health, as indicated in this also, went further swiftly and suspended the importer's license and also recalled and ordered for the suspension and recollection of all this medication only on the interest of the welfare of the people of the Republic of the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, noting the effort of this Parliament, since this happened, the Select Committee on Health, Refugee and Disaster has been at work, as enshrined in the 1997 Constitution and our standing orders. They had series of engagement with health officials and others with regards to this. It is only prudent that we commend them, we allow only them to continue the work they are doing as stated in the motion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker, nominated member CDSK Njai. I now invite the Honorable Member for Fonyi Jarol.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. And a lot has already been said. And I must also thank the honorable ministers who dedicated their time to be here, because it's a national concern. I must start by first and foremost thanking WHO, where I got my information, first-hand information, because it was on the 6th that WHO issued a medical product alert identified in the Gambia that has been potentially linked to acute kidney injuries, leading to the death of 70 children. Honorable Speaker, my condolences to the family of the 70 children and beyond who died taking the medication of the medical product linked to the acute kidney injury. Honorable Speaker, this is very unfortunate to happen and has caused a public outcry in the Gambia and beyond, demanding a true investigation into the incident. Honorable Speaker, the pandemic has caused chaos in our health centers. That as I speak to you now, most people are even afraid to go to the health centers because of this problem. Honorable Speaker, to restore that confidence within the health system and to build trust and confidence from the service consumers, something needs to be done immediately. It's time for action and not time for talking. It's time for action and not time for praises. We must act now to restore that confidence, because we don't know whether this problem is only limited to the mentioned medication. That's what people are thinking. People are even refusing now to go to the hospital because of this problem. We need to act as soon as possible to address the situation. That's my take. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Foni Jarol. I now invite the Honorable Member for Jara West.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, I would want to take this opportunity to express my deepest condolence to the families and victims of this tragic incident, that is the death of 70 children. Honorable Speaker, I also want to commend the Ministry of Health and the government for notifying, to my knowledge, notifying WHO about this acute kidney injury in the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, to me, the minister needs to be commended, because we have all seen since this incident happened. In fact, before that, it's just an outcry that now we are seeing him going up and down. But he has been doing wonders for this country. So when an unfortunate incident happened, we just don't have to come up and then try to destroy all the good things that have been done by the minister. Yes, if you are with a portfolio, God forbid something dangerous or issues happen, that is disaster or calamity, you have to be mentioned. But let's also not forget, he has been doing good for this country. I don't think there is any genuine Gambian who will wish death for his or her colleague in the Gambia. So I just want to appeal to our members, let us not politicalize issues. If we want to politicalize issues, we can never achieve what we want. We are here representing the people of the Gambia. If you want to come here with a political side, I don't think we are going to achieve our dreams. If something happens, let's just take it as it is an issue of Gambia. We are all Gambians. We are all people representative. Please, honorable members, let's do it that way. Sometimes, you know, ministers also, stakeholders, they need to be commended when they do good. It's good to criticize, yes, because it makes them double up their efforts, but not also, we only depend on the criticisms. Let's also give credit where it is due. Sometimes I don't know why we are here. We are representing the people. Honorable Speaker, for me, I have the belief the select committee will do their job. I know the people who are there, their expertise, they know what is in the health. And then before this motion was brought in, they have been doing their work. I believe they will do it. Let's have the belief, the confidence in them. They are our members. We put them in that committee. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I want to rest my case. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Jara West. I now invite the Honorable Member for Fonyi Bondali.
Thank you so very much, Honorable Speaker. I would like to extend my deepest condolence and sympathy to the family and the victims of this tragic incident, to which I am part of. Fortunately for me, my child is still alive, but still going through the pains and struggling, which I am appealing for help. Honorable Speaker, I'll go to number 8, which reads, concerned that some quantity of alleged contaminated drugs are still unaccounted for or recalled. I would like to urge the Ministry of Health to continue on their good work or to...
The Honorable Member for Busumbala constituency.